So a few things real quick here, folks, before we dive into tearing that axle apart. For one, I want to thank y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all. If you're a current subscriber, thanks for coming back. If you're new to the channel, obviously you're interested in this axle replacement on the Defender. We do have a bunch of other videos centered around the Defender. Go check some of them out. If you don't care, like what you see, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're going to get into this thing tonight. OEM versus stock. You'll see in this video kind of where I was at, what the predicament I was in. Kind of changes throughout the video, so watch it till the end. In my opinion, it kind of depends on the riding you're doing. This thing's got almost 3,000 miles, still OEM axles in this thing, and you'll see in the video the failure that I had was not due to a mechanical failure, was, you know, just an unfortunate circumstance. So anyways, there's a bunch of good products out there for these things. The best one I see fit is whichever one gets you back in the woods. So without further ado, we're going to dive on into the video. Like I say, I hope y'all enjoy. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and let's get these axles pulled out and swapped out so we can get back in the woods. Welcome back, everyone. Here in the garage this evening. Axle came in for Yellow Feller, so we're going to get her slapped in. And before y'all give me crap for running the East Lake axle, it was what I could do at the time to get old Yellow Feller back in the woods. I don't like this thing set, and I like to ride, and this was the cheapest, quickest option to get me back on the trail. Free 2-day shipping, can't beat that. 2-year warranty. Maybe it won't hold up, I don't know, we'll find out. But if it doesn't, we'll see how their warranty works out. So that's what we're going to do on this episode. We're going to jump into getting this tore apart and get this axle swapped out. So prior to starting this project, back in there where the axle goes in to the rear diff there, I have sprayed that with some PB Blaster and let her soak for a while, and hopefully we don't fight that thing getting it out of there, but we'll see. But anyways, any of you that don't know, this part of the other end of the axle bent and it ripped a boot. So the axle itself is just losing grease. It hasn't clicked yet or anything, so I just went ahead and ordered another axle. I'm going to pull this one out and we'll go ahead and we'll rebuild this. We'll replace that boot, and then I'll have an axle for a backup in case this old East Lake doesn't hold up. I'll still have another one on hand. So I'm gonna get this tire off and dig into her. All right, so wheel tire is removed. Don't mind my Regneck AC over there, it is hot out. And next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take the brake caliper off. Those are 15mm bolts, one on the top, one down there on the bottom. Get them broke loose and get that thing tied up. We'll tie it up here out of the road somewhere. The next thing I like to do is go ahead and loosen the axle nut while you got everything still bolted up. It's just easier to get loose. There is a cotter pin runs down through there, which mine's kind of mangled up getting her out of there. So that's a good time in your travel box. I'm trying to use my tools that I take on the trail with me in my toolbox to change this out. That way I know I have everything with me. So that's a good time that you might pick up a couple of these and just throw in your toolbox or your buggy to have some extras with you. But anyways, got that out. We're going to back this off with a 30mm socket and get her loosened up. Then we'll go from there. Don't take it all the way off. I just like to loosen it up a little bit. That bolt there can be stubborn, or that nut, the axle nut, which kind of is on me a little bit. But once you get that loose, which I'm going to have to go grab the impact to get that thing off there. But once you get that loose, go back here, 15mm here, 15mm here. Get this upper A-arm out of the way. And then 15mm here and here. 15mm down here and here. Get the lower one out of the way. That whole knuckle. Loosen this back off. Like I say, just leave it finger tight. That way it'll hold all that together. Loosen that up, take that nut off, then this whole knuckle will come out. You can take this upper A-arm, bungee it up out of the road, and then you should be able to pull that axle right out. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting that loosened up, take these off, and I'll show you when we get down to the axle. All right, so axle's out. Like I said, I soaked her down with the blaster up there in the upper end, and this thing actually popped out pretty easy. I didn't have any issues at all. Got the A-arms up, down out of the way, and up out of the way, and like I say, had a little issues with the nut, so I just left it all together and pulled it all out. I'm gonna put it up here on the vise where I can get a better bite on that thing, get the big impact on it. Now would be a good time, if you have any squeaking in this knuckle at all, to go ahead and change these bushings out while you got it off. Which of course mine's covered in grease from where the boot ripped, but there's you're gonna watch when you take these bolts out too, there's little sleeves inside of here. You see them moving there. You want to make sure you don't lose those. You want to make sure they stay in there. But bushings on mine don't too hateful. I try to keep them greased up. Before you put this back together, I'd go ahead and hit that with some grease. That way it keeps it from squeaking, popping, banging, clanging, all that good stuff. And they're easier to get to while you got this off. So you can see right there where the boots rip. But axle still sounds good. Like I say, we'll get that boot rebuilt. We're gonna get her on the bench, tear her apart, get that nut off there, and I'll show you when we go to put her back together. So I don't know exactly where we left off with this axle video. I think it was somewhere around trying to get the nut off, which that was not a big issue. Put it up in the vise, hit her with the impact, came right off. Everything was all good to go. We was cruising right along, and then the folks from East Lake let me down. I know. I told you don't give me crap. But you can, go ahead. The axle they sent me is for a non-XMR, when I specifically told them that it was for an XMR. So got on the horn with them, told them what the issue was, and they were nice. They gave me a return number to send it back, get my refund, but I would have to pay for return shipping, which not cool. I mean, yeah, because mysteriously they don't have an axle for an XMR. Like I said, I ordered one for an XMR, they sent me one for a non-XMR. So anyways, luckily it's good to have friends, right? I had a buddy, has an OEM axle, extra axle laying around. So as you'll see, I'll show you, we went ahead and slapped that one in it. So there she is. Like I say, not new, but it is an OEM axle. Boot on this one's good to go. Not all dented up, beat up. I cleaned up some of that grease. As far as putting it back in, it's pretty much reversed from taking it out. You just push it back in there, kind of give it a good tug, and it'll pop past that little keeper, and then bolt your A-arms back up, uppers, lowers, put that axle nut back on, put your cotter pin back in, put your brake caliper back on, wheel and tire, and you're ready to hit the trail again. I did go ahead and hit the Zerks on all these, greased up all the fittings, uppers, lowers, and all that. It's a good time to grease all that back up, but old yeller feller is ready to hit the trail again, thanks to a buddy of mine. So the axle job is complete. Not a hard job to do. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll get you answers for. But just do know that if you have an XMR, which I already knew, they are a longer axle, but evidently East Lake didn't know that, or I don't know. Anyways, no big deal. We got Yeller Feller put back together. She's off the jack stands, ready to roll, and we're gonna get you back in the woods. So stay tuned. Like always, I appreciate you watching. Keep liking, keep subscribing. We'll see you on the next one.